Hiya there folks, welcome to Boating on a Budget with me, the tight Yorkshireman.
And me, Dawn.
Dawn, we're leaving behind Middlewich.
Yes.
Which has been quite a nice place to stop, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a nice few days. We've been here over the bank holiday weekend and we've sampled a few pubs and a few places to eat and things like that. And it's now time to move on though. And hopefully the journey we've got that we could actually do in one day comfortably, and we'll probably spread out over several days and maybe do a bit of painting as well.
Yes.
Although we'll probably not show any painting on the video because it is boring. But yeah, we're now going to head up to the end of the Trent and Mersey, which is Preston Brook Tunnel. Along the way though, we've got a few interesting things, like we've left behind the last of the narrow locks that you can only fit one boat in. And we're quite pleased about that because if you've watched our previous videos, you'll know our boat's bellied ever so slightly in the middle. Yeah. So it's a little bit wider than a standard boat, which is sort of quite normal for a lot of the older boats, to be fair, but ours has bellied slightly. And it's just meant on a few of those sort of narrow locks, we have been a bit close to the edge, and we've sort of been a bit...
Let's take it really carefully.
Yeah, so last of those behind us now means we've got double lock in front of us. So that means you can fit two boats in, so that extra couple of inches wide that we are is not an issue anymore. No. Not that it's been an issue, it's just sort of kept us on our toes.
Yeah, of course.
So we've got the start of these double locks, then we've got a little aqueduct, then we've got a few tunnels, and I'm sure along the way there'll be a few other little interesting things for us to look at, including Anderton boat lift.
Yes.
I'd like to have gone down Anderton boat lift, but we're not going down onto the River Weaver, so we'll just go and have a nosy around it and see how other people are getting on there. But for now, we'll have us brew and we'll make our way to that big lock.
We will. You alright, darling?
Alright. So that was his first double lock done. It's been a while since we've done one of them, isn't it?
It is, and we shared it.
Yeah, we ended up sharing it. Another boat came just as we were about to come in, so it's the whole point. Two boats in, two boats out.
Yeah. Gets
everything more efficient. We're now heading on to the next point, which is Croxton. You don't know. You never know. You never even look at the maps. You still ain't got a clue whether we're going up, down, left or right, have you?
No.
But yeah, so the next point is Croxton Aqueduct, which, when you look at other aqueducts like that big one in Wales that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, begins with a P, and it's on the Llangollen Canal, even though I probably said Llangollen wrong as well. But yeah, the next one's this little aqueduct. We'll have a little look as we go over that. Just realised we've committed the cardinal sin of being a boater, haven't we? Something that we should have learnt by now.
Yeah, it gives us our essential items.
Yeah, there's only a few essentials you need on a boat, and one of those is water. The other one's obviously beer and food, but water is the essential one. And obviously in our boat we've got a water tank at the front that holds the water that we use for sort of doing washing up and showers and things, and then we have some separate water bottles that we fill up that we use for drinking water, because obviously the main tank at the front, we don't know what's ever been in there, so we don't drink that. What you should always do as a boater is every time you see a tap on the side of the canal, which are in the maps,
make use of it.
Fill up your tank, no matter what, always fill up your tank. And as we set off this morning, we said, right, we need to go through that big lock, and before we get to the aqueduct, there's a tap on the left hand side. Let's moor up there, make sure we're topped up with water. What did we not do? We didn't top up with water. And I've just had a look on aforementioned map, and we're now a fair way away from the next water tap. So if by the end of this video we're starting to be a bit smelly and dirty,
It's dried up.
Yeah.
We've had no brew.
Because we've run out of water. I might have a swim in there if need be. I'm not sure about drinking from it though. So today's lesson, always fill up with water.
Always.
I must say though, this bit of the canal is back to being quite stunning, because obviously we've had sort of a week or two where we've been in sort of, well, as we left Stone and then Stoke-on-Trent and then come through, a lot of it's been quite, not industrial, but you know, it's
towns and things.
Towns and villages.
It's been a town that you could walk into, isn't it?
Yeah, whereas we're now heading out back into the countryside, which this is potentially one of the good things, or is definitely one of the good things about being on a boat, because when we're in a town we say, come on, let's untie, let's get into the middle of the countryside. We don't want to be near these people, we don't want to be near folk. And then once we're out in the countryside, we have a day or two when we go, let's head into a town, because we haven't seen anybody for a day or two.
Get cabin fever.
So it is kind of the joy of it. When you buy a house, you either buy a house in a town or village or whatever, or in the countryside. Once you've bought it, you're stuck there, if you like.
I think we're spoiled because we've got vegetables.
But that's it. When we want a few days actually in a town or whatever, and we want to go to pubs and things, find a mooring in a town.
You can.
When we want to be in the middle of nowhere, we moor up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Which incidentally is what we're looking for now. We want a nice little mooring. We've been in towns for a few days. We'll have a look for a mooring, middle of nowhere, peace and quiet.
And a little less boggy than that.
Yes. The rain that we've had over the bank holiday weekend has turned all the towpaths back to mud. So it's finding a spot that's quiet, straight, so that we're not in any bends causing chaos for other boaters.
And a little dry.
Yeah, not too muddy.
I'm not bothered about it being muddy, but you don't want to trail it in every 2 minutes.
No. And we want a spot where there's enough room to set up the barbecue.
Yes, absolutely.
We don't want much, do we?
No. Good job you're not telling an estate agent. They're headed please.
I think we've got to agree then, this is probably one of the best moorings we've ever had. And that's saying something, because we've had some pretty spectacular moorings, especially in this time we've been out and about. But the surroundings here are just fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
I'll take you and have a little look down there, but there are other boats moored down here, and it's not really fair me sticking a camera in their boat while they're relaxing on their holiday, is it? So, but we'll have a little look round. You've been doing a bit of baking as well, haven't you?
I have. I've made some scones, savoury and sweet.
So we've got some scones to have after our barbecue that we're going to have. Can't wait.
Steak.
Just need that sunshine to come out because it's disappeared. But let's have a little look then. So on this bit round here, well, we've had the jackery on charge, but as I said, the sunshine's now disappeared. We've got a little bench there, we've got the barbecue out ready, got the bike there as well. But then as we come down past where the boat is, you can see there's more picnic benches and barbecue areas. We're at a place called Bramble Cutting, and it's a place that was set up in the late 90s by a bunch of volunteers, and as you can perhaps see on that sign, it's since been improved by those volunteers as well. But it really is a little spectacular out of the way mooring, because you can only actually get to these moorings via boat. There's no way to get to it from the towpath or any public paths, because up there it's all private land, which is a little path that takes you up there. And I had a little wander up and I spotted a baby deer just as I got to the top of the path, but by the time I got the camera out it had run away, unfortunately. But yes, not a bad mooring at all, really liking it here. Be topped off with that barbecue later. Oh, and as you see there, that's our laptop uploading what will now be last week's vlog, the one where we did about the cost of living on a narrowboat. And it's things like this that make all them costs. Seemed like a bargain. I think it's fair to say then, Dawn, our poor planning has now caught up with us, hasn't it? Because we've just about run out of water. If you look, that's our drinking water, and we've hardly got any of that left. And our water tank that we have showers and what have you from, that's almost virtually empty as well. And it's a bit of a shame, 'cause it now means we've got to leave this beautiful mooring, doesn't it? The downside to this has been, it's been a bit bittersweet, hasn't it? Because it's a beautiful mooring, but the weather's let it down, hasn't it?
It has, because we've not been able to sit out as much as
No, I mean, and such as that barbecue we'd planned on yesterday, we ended up just cooking in the cooker. I said we cooked in the cooker.
I did.
Dawn cooked in the cooker. But it's just been a bit funny weather-wise, hasn't it? Considering we're right at the end of May as well, you'd perhaps be expecting better. But anyway, yeah, we need water. We've got a load of rubbish that we need to get rid of. We also need to find a laundrette, because although we do have down there a washing machine, we've never actually been able to get that working through our inverter, have we?
No.
So at the minute we can't use the washing machine, it does mean we have to go to laundrettes. So we've got like clothes to wash, bins to empty, water to fill up. Most importantly though, what have we got to get?
Milk.
Milk. We've virtually run out of milk. We've probably just about got enough to do one more cuppa.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to head off to Northwich now. That means that we should certainly be able to get milk and things like that there. I'm not sure if we can empty bins and fill up with water anywhere near there though, or whether we are going to have to carry on through to where Anderton boat lift is, because I know there's definitely taps and waste and things there. Anyway, I'll check the engine, make sure that's all good to go, and then we'll head off. A short and sweet trip.
It was very short.
We spent probably about 20 minutes there in Northwich, because as it turned out, most of the shops and things aren't actually that close to the canal. So all we did is nipped and got some bread and milk and butter from the little spa shop.
Garage, yeah.
Probably paid over the odds for it, but at least we can now have a brew, and we'll move on. We'll carry on in the direction of, like we say, Anderton boat lift, which is where we need to get the water from. See what else we find along the way.
Yeah.
Well, we did have a little interesting minute or two there, because we bumped into Heidi.
We did.
Heidi, the narrowboat pirate. Just as we were coming back from the shop, she happened to be winding, winding,
turning boat round.
Turning boat round, however you want to call it, just by our boat. And so we had a little chat to Heidi for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you probably already watch Heidi's channel, because it is sort of up there as one of the better narrowboat channels.
Very watchable.
Yeah, she's very watchable, Heidi, very funny. If you've not watched her, have a little look for her. She's called the Narrowboat Pirate. Her boat's called the Rum Wench.
Very fitting.
Indeed. And she is, like I say, she's very funny and shows the real world of narrowboat living. Does. For now though, let's continue on, see how we get on. Sure if this might be the place. You know, when we came looking for the boats, when we ended up buying this one, and Heidi actually commented on one of his Facebook posts or something saying, have you tried such and such place? And she'd not long been for a look round here. I think it might be this one. Well, that's made up for his error the other day then in not filling up with the water tank.
It has.
Because we've now got a full water tank, full water bottles, empty toilet,
Yes,
and got rid of all the rubbish.
we have.
That's what's now
Happy
been
bunny.
a happy boat to that,
Yes.
isn't it? That's what life's all about when you're on a boat, is making sure everything's empty or everything's full,
Yes.
depending on what you need.
We'll not make that error ever again.
No. We have now just moored up immediately after the water point. Anderton boat lift is down this way, so we're going to have a little walk down and have a look at it. I'll perhaps take a few pictures, maybe a bit of video if it's actually running at the moment. I'm not sure with the time of day whether it will be. However, I'm not going to do much about the lift itself because we're not going down on it.
No.
Or up on it.
And it has been covered on quite a few vlogs, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of vlogs out there, plenty of different people who've done the Anderton boat lift, who've put vlogs on. So if you're interested in how it actually works and what it was there for and things like that, I'll perhaps even try and find a couple and put them in the description below. You can have a look and see how the boat lift works. But I think that now means that we're going to stay here for tonight.
Yes.
And then move on tomorrow and we get to do them tunnels.
Wow. Yeah.
So something to look forward to, maybe. Yeah, let's go and have a look at Anderton boat lift, see what it's all about. Well, having had a few pints in the Stanley Arms last night, I'm amazed just how early we were up today. And once we got up, after a quick brew, we had a walk up to the local laundrette, which was about a 20-25 minute walk away. It's actually where Dawn still is at the moment, because I then realised that I could actually get the boat a lot closer to the laundrette than where we were moored overnight. So I walked back down, picked the boat up, got myself another brew obviously, and I'm now going to go and meet up with Dawn. We've decided after that though we're going to get the bikes out and have a cycle to the supermarket. We found that there's a couple nearby, about a 15-minute cycle away, because we're a bit low on food, and if we start just buying everything at the local shops like we had to the other day, it works out really expensive. And it's why we've got the bikes in the first place. Get them out, have a cycle, pick up what we need, then it'll be back to the boat, get through these tunnels. We're now jumping forward 2 days because we've been moored up and we've got that painting done.
We have.
Which we've not really filmed or anything, as we said, because
It's painted.
it's painting and it's boring.
Yeah.
But the boat is starting to look a lot smarter than it was when we bought it. We are now heading now towards Dutton Stocklock and the Preston Brook Tunnel, which is the very end of the Trent and Mersey. And it's took us 7 days since we started filming this video. And that's 14 miles that we've covered. So that's just 2 miles a day.
Snail pace.
Snail pace indeed. We went past a boat earlier that was called Snail's Pace.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it kind of shows like the pace of life on a boat.
Yeah.
You know, there's no rush, no running about, no 70, 80 miles an hour down a motorway. 2 miles a day. So we've got Dutton Stocklock, Preston Brook Tunnel, and then we're onto the Bridgewater Canal. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little tour, those 14 miles doing the final section of the Trent and Mersey. And we'll see you all later, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.